Hello everyone! Welcome to my channel, Bachelor Nation News fans. Just when we thought the Golden Bachelorette had revealed all its secrets, a shock twist leaves everyone breathless. Gary Levingston, the charming, witty, and sometimes unpredictable bachelor we've been following, has finally found love. But here's the catch. The woman who stole his heart isn't who anyone expected. Stay with me because this story isn't just about romance. It's about courage, timing, and the kind of love that proves it's never too late to follow your heart. Over the past season, Gary's journey has been a roller coaster. Moments of doubt, fleeting connections, and heartbreak. And yet, through it all, one truth remained. Gary wasn't searching for just anyone. He was waiting for the one who could match his heart, his humor, and his zest for life. And the universe had a surprise in store. Early on, Gary seemed drawn to several strong, charismatic women, but it was in the quiet, unassuming moments, the ones away from the cameras, away from the drama, where the magic truly began. That's when he met her. A woman whose laughter could light up a room, whose warmth reached into the depths of Gary's heart. At first glance, no one would have guessed their chemistry, but sometimes love hides in plain sight. She wasn't the loudest, the flashiest, or the one making headlines. She was patient, genuine, and profoundly present. And for Gary, that presence became irresistible. Their connection? Electric, unexpected, and it left viewers everywhere whispering, could this be it? Little did anyone know, this seemingly quiet spark would soon ignite the most unforgettable twist of the season. Gary's journey wasn't instant. In fact, it was full of reflection and hesitation. Each date, each moment together brought clarity. He realized that love isn't always about grand gestures. Sometimes it's about finding someone whose soul mirrors yours, someone who challenges you, comforts you, and yet surprises you every day. For Gary, that realization hit like a bolt of lightning during one quiet evening as the sun set over the horizon and he found himself smiling more than he ever had before. Viewers could almost feel the shift, the tension, the anticipation. It was electric. Who would Gary choose when the final decision approached? And the answer was about to break every expectation. Fade to black for a brief moment, dramatic pause. Rose ceremonies are always emotional, but nothing could prepare the audience for what happened next. Gary walked down the garden path, holding the final rose, and paused, looked straight into her eyes. The woman who had stolen his heart in ways words could scarcely describe. And then, in a moment that stunned both contestants and viewers alike, he chose her, the quiet one, the unexpected one, the woman who had patiently, lovingly, and courageously waited for the right moment to shine in his life. The shock wasn't just in who he chose, it was in the story behind it. It's a story of hope, of timing, and of the truth that love doesn't always arrive when or how you expect it. Sometimes it sneaks up quietly, and when it lands, it changes everything. After the camera stopped rolling, the real journey began. Gary and his newfound love faced the same question every couple does. How do you nurture a love that's born in the most unexpected of places? Their bond, built on trust, humor, and mutual respect, gave fans a heartfelt reminder. Age is just a number, but love is timeless. Their story inspired thousands, proving that even in your golden years, the heart is capable of extraordinary surprises. And for Gary, the biggest surprise wasn't finding love. It was discovering the courage to embrace it fully, unapologetically, and with joy. Gary's journey teaches us something profound. Love is patient. Love is surprising. And above all, love is worth waiting for. Whether it arrives in the form of a quiet smile, a shared laugh, or a courageous leap into the unknown, the most meaningful connections are often the ones we least expect. And as Gary and his partner embark on this next chapter together, one thing is clear. The golden years can shine brighter than ever when love finds its way home. In the very first episode, the tension was palpable. Gary's charm was on full display, and the women, each with her own story, her own dreams, arrived ready to capture his heart. But this season was different. It wasn't just about attraction, dates, or roses. It was about connection, depth, and the raw vulnerability that comes with opening your heart later in life. Viewers watched as Gary navigated first impressions, laughter-filled icebreakers, and moments of uncertainty. Who would rise to the top? Who would fade away? And yet, beneath all the glamour and laughter, something unexpected was brewing. A connection so profound, it would leave everyone speechless. Little did anyone know, the seeds of an extraordinary romance had already been planted, quietly, patiently, almost invisibly, waiting for the perfect moment to bloom. The magic of a first date is undeniable, but for Gary, the first date that mattered most wasn't a grand gesture. It was a quiet conversation, a shared laugh, a spark that words could barely capture. On that evening, under soft candlelight and twinkling stars, he felt something shift. The connection was deeper than mere chemistry. It was recognition, as if two souls had found each other after decades of searching. Viewers everywhere were captivated. Could this be the one moment that would define the season? Or was it just the calm before an even bigger twist? As the season progressed, tension grew. Competing personalities, unexpected rivalries, and moments of doubt created a whirlwind of emotion. Gary's heart, however, was becoming more focused. The loudest voices, the most dramatic gestures, none of that mattered. His attention was drawn to something quieter, more authentic, and incredibly rare. And in that reflection, the audience began to sense it, a shift in the story. One that would lead to the most astonishing, heartfelt revelation of the entire season. In a pivotal episode, Gary finally voiced what had been growing in his heart. "I didn't expect to feel this way," he confessed. "But with you, I feel like I've finally found my other half." It was a declaration that left viewers in tears and contestants stunned. The connection, once subtle, had become undeniable. And just like that, the path toward the final shocking twist began to unfold. But what would happen when the final rose ceremony arrived? Would their love survive the pressure of the spotlight, or would the unexpected have the last word? Finally, the moment everyone had been waiting for. Gary walked down the garden path, rose in hand, heart pounding with anticipation. Every eye was on him, every breath held as he approached the one who had quietly captured his soul. And then, the moment of truth. In a move that shocked contestants and viewers alike, Gary chose her, the quiet one, the woman who had shown patience, authenticity, and a courage that transcended the spotlight. The twist was complete, and the audience erupted in joy, tears, and applause. This wasn't just a choice. It was a statement. Love can surprise you, and the heart always knows its home. But the story didn't end when the camera stopped rolling. For Gary and his partner, life after the show became a journey of discovery, adventure, and deepening love. Together, they navigated new experiences, celebrated their shared passions, and showed the world that age is no barrier to romance, joy, or unexpected surprises. If anything, Gary and his partner's love story reminds us all, love is never a race. It arrives when the timing is perfect, in the form that is most meaningful, and with a partner who truly understands the depths of your heart. Gary Levingston's story is more than just reality television drama. It's a story about courage, patience, and the timeless power of connection. It teaches us that it's never too late to love, to be loved, or to find joy in unexpected places. And most importantly, it reminds us that sometimes the quietest heart carries the loudest love story of all. Lights glowing and hearts racing as the Golden Bachelorette mansion prepared for its most jaw-dropping season yet. But no one, not even the producers, could have predicted the storm of emotions, secrets, and unexpected love that would soon sweep through the opulent halls. At the center of it all was Gary Levingston, a man whose charm, wit, and experience had made him a legend in the world of romance television. Gary had been a bachelor before, yes, but this time everything felt different. At 63, he was no longer chasing love out of youthful curiosity. No, this was about something deeper: connection, honesty, and a chance to finally find someone who could match his heart, laugh for laugh, and dream for dream. Arrival and first impressions. The limo doors swung open one by one, revealing an array of contestants. Women who were bold, beautiful, and ready to play the game of love on national television. There were smiles, elegant gowns, nervous laughter, but among them one woman seemed to glide rather than walk, her presence commanding yet gentle. Gary, ever the gentleman, greeted each woman with warmth and humor, but something inside him stirred when he reached the last limo. He barely recognized himself, standing taller, heart quicker than it had been in decades. She stepped out. Not flashy, not showy, just a quiet confidence that somehow filled the room. Gary blinked, momentarily speechless, as the cameras caught every second of the encounter. She smiled, warm, inviting, yet with an edge of mystery. "Hi, Gary," she said simply. No gimmicks, no rehearsed lines. Just a hello that felt like a long-lost memory, like meeting someone you've always known but never met. And in that moment, a spark ignited, one the audience could not see coming. The unexpected connection. The first cocktail party was supposed to be a whirlwind of laughter, clinking glasses, and flirtatious banter. But for Gary, the world seemed to narrow down to the woman from the limo. Every joke, every playful glance, every gentle touch sent an electric pulse through him. Meanwhile, the other contestants noticed. Whispers circulated. "Who is she? Do you think she's here for the right reasons? Gary looks different around her." It wasn't just attraction, it was connection. The kind that doesn't need explanation, doesn't need games. The woman, whose name was Evelyn Carter, carried herself with a rare elegance. Confident yet approachable, intelligent but humble, and mysterious in a way that drew people in without trying. At the end of the night, Gary had found himself sitting beside her under the mansion's sprawling veranda, away from the cameras and the spectacle. "I don't usually do this," Gary admitted quietly, "but there's something about you, something real." Evelyn's eyes sparkled, not with vanity, but with understanding. "I know," she replied softly. "I feel it too." And just like that, the narrative of the season shifted. Rivalries and surprises. As the days progressed, it became clear that Evelyn wasn't just another contestant. She had depth, wit, and a past that hinted at challenges overcome, a life full of stories that resonated with Gary's own journey. Other women, sensing the bond forming, began to strategize. Some tried charm, some tried drama, but Gary remained unshakable. He wasn't interested in games anymore. He was interested in truth. One evening, a group date brought everyone to a scenic vineyard. The women laughed, shared stories, and tried to stand out. But Gary found himself drifting to Evelyn, sharing quiet moments away from the crowd. "You're different," he said, sipping his wine. You're honest, not just with me, but with yourself." Evelyn's eyes sparkled, a flicker of vulnerability crossing her face. "I've lived long enough to know who I am," she admitted. "I don't have time for anything less than real." It was a confession that stunned Gary, and secretly it stunned the other women too. Here was someone who could match him, not just flirt with him. Someone who could challenge him, laugh with him, and, most importantly, love him in ways he hadn't dared to imagine. The twist nobody saw coming. Just when the tension seemed to settle, the producers dropped a bombshell, a surprise twist. A special episode would allow Gary to bring a guest from his past, a person who could potentially change the course of the season. The mansion erupted in whispers. Could it be an ex, a friend, someone completely unexpected? Gary, faced with the opportunity, didn't hesitate. He knew exactly who he wanted to bring in. And when the limo doors opened, the entire house gasped. It wasn't an ex, it wasn't a family member. It was Evelyn's best friend, someone Gary had briefly met years ago at a charity gala. The woman's presence added intrigue, but also danger. Was this a test of loyalty? A trap? Evelyn's face tightened, a mixture of anxiety and something else. Something deeper. Gary noticed immediately. He understood the silent message. Love isn't always about smooth sailing. Sometimes it's about navigating storms together. The mansion was buzzing. Gary and Evelyn met in the garden, trying to steal a moment away from the cameras. The air was crisp, sunlight filtering through the ancient oak trees, a perfect setting for honesty. "I didn't expect your friend to show up like that," Evelyn admitted, her voice low. "It threw me off." Gary took her hand gently. "I know, but it wasn't meant to hurt you. It was to see what matters most. And after last night, I know exactly where my heart is." Evelyn's eyes softened. For the first time, she let herself relax completely. The stress of the competition, the games, the cameras, it all melted away. What remained was simple: two hearts recognizing each other. Later that day, a one-on-one date was announced, a hot air balloon ride over the golden valleys outside the city. While the other contestants were left behind, Evelyn and Gary shared breathtaking views, laughter, and confessions. "I never thought I'd find someone like you at this stage in my life. Someone who makes me feel young again, yet grounded." Evelyn chuckled softly. "I thought I was done with fairy tales, but maybe fairy tales aren't just for the young. Maybe they're for people brave enough to take the leap." And in that soaring balloon, with the world below them and the sky above, they shared a kiss, a tender promise of possibility. Rivalries reached boiling point. Not everyone was happy. The mansion's remaining contestants were growing restless, their strategies faltering against Gary's unwavering focus on Evelyn. Some tried confrontation, others whispered behind closed doors. At a glamorous cocktail party that evening, one woman, Vanessa, confronted Evelyn directly. "You think you're the only one who can capture Gary's heart? He's been through a lot, and you're just one chapter. Don't act like you're the only one that matters." Evelyn's response was calm, almost unnervingly composed. "I'm not here to compete with anyone. I'm here to be honest, with myself and with him. If that threatens anyone, it's not my problem." Gary, overhearing this exchange, felt a surge of admiration. Evelyn wasn't just confident, she was fearless. And in that fearlessness, he recognized the kind of love he had been searching for all his life: steady, unwavering, and real. The heartbreak and the choice. The producers, always hungry for drama, announced the first elimination. Tensions skyrocketed as women nervously awaited Gary's decision. Names were called, tears were shed, and alliances crumbled. When the moment came, Gary stood, rose in hand, and faced the group. His eyes found Evelyn's immediately, a silent reassurance that she was safe. Then he turned to the others. "This journey is about honesty, about love that's true. Tonight, we say goodbye to those who aren't aligned with that truth." Gasps echoed through the room as the eliminated contestants left. But even in heartbreak, there was clarity. Gary was no longer just a bachelor seeking love. He had found a connection deeper than anyone anticipated. Just when it seemed the path was clear, the producers delivered the ultimate twist, a surprise visit from someone from Gary's past, a woman he had met decades ago at a summer retreat, someone who had once stirred feelings he never fully understood. The cameras captured Gary's stunned expression as the woman stepped into the room. The contestants whispered, speculation running wild. Would this ruin the connection he had with Evelyn? Gary, however, surprised everyone. He walked forward, shook the woman's hand warmly, and said, "It's good to see you, but my journey now is with someone who's here, with me, every step of the way." He turned to Evelyn, who was watching intently. "You've changed everything for me. You've reminded me what real love feels like. I'm not looking back." The room erupted in applause, some contestants in tears, others in disbelief. The twist had confirmed what everyone secretly hoped. Gary had found his match. In the days following the twist, Gary and Evelyn spent more time together, peeling back layers of life's experiences. They shared stories of heartbreak, of triumph, of dreams deferred and rediscovered. One evening, under the mansion's starlit sky, Gary revealed a vulnerability few had ever seen. He had loved before and lost, wondering if he'd ever feel this way again. But with you, it's effortless. It's like coming home after a long journey. Evelyn took his hand. "I've felt that too. I was scared at first, but you make me believe love doesn't expire, that it can be found at any stage of life if we're brave enough to embrace it."